Today I'm going to show you how I made this tool carrier for my Massey Harris pony. So it's a really simple tool. Originally I made it just to be a cultivator, but it's also served as a potato ridger and a potato harvester. And it could also serve as a weeder and a hoe and all kinds of other stuff. So it's really simple. It's just this piece of C-channel, although it should be a tube, a rectangular tube. 2 pieces of flat bar that go up to the front. And then it's just chained to it's not a 3-point, but it's what this tractor has instead of a 3-point. And then it's a manual lift. There are assist springs on this. This I made for my plows for the pony, so you won't see me making this in this video. But this is just a piece of flat bar with 2 pieces of flat bar that are connected there to the tractor. And I can adjust the height of this one, although that's not necessary for the tool carrier. I mainly just did this for the plows. You could just put a piece of flat bar in there that was just had a hole drilled in each end. But I have actually been pretty impressed with how well this worked. And I didn't have to go modifying the tractor and putting a 3-point on it. I managed to use the original lift system. So to make the actual body of the cultivator, the part that the shanks are going to be attached to, I have this little chassis thing here. It came with a compressor I bought a few months ago, but I'm never going to use it as a transport device for the compressor. So I'm just going to cut this piece off right here and use that. This stuff is just C-channel. It's not expensive to buy, but because I have this, I'm just going to use it rather than buy a new piece. And this is the compressor that was on that chassis. So for the shanks of the cultivator, I got 5 brand new 20 by 20 double spiral shanks. So these look pretty strong. And then these are the tips of the shanks, or the cutting edges. So that's how the body of the cultivator looks. I've temporarily bolted the arms on just to see how it will look. And these two pieces I only just tacked them on. That way if I need to change them I can. I want to go and put this on the tractor and just make sure that it's going to work before I weld those on properly. But next up I need to make the brackets that are going to hold the shanks on. So this is just a piece of 8x80 flat bar, 12 centimeters long, one on the top, one on the bottom, 4 12mm bolts, and yeah. Now technically you should have something at the front. Some cultivators you'll see at the front, instead of having 2 bolts, they'll just have one down the center that also goes through that hole. Others you'll see these are a little bit further forward, and they will have another bolt through that holes. Others will have a pin in the center here, but the thing is when they punch that hole, it kind of flares that out a bit. So these 2 bolts are at a clearance where that cannot be pulled through these 2 bolts. So I'm not going to bother. I'm just going to leave it as is. Because also there's a lot of clamping force, so like that's not going to be easy to pull out of there. I mean, if I start using this and all the shanks suddenly fall out, I will put a bolt in there, but for now I don't think it needs to be worried about. So now I just need to make 4 more of these, which is a lot of drilling. Thankfully I have a drill press. So the small holes, I'm drilling a 7mm, and then I'm drilling them to 12.5. And for the 7mm, I'm using about 1300 RPMs, and for the 12mm, I'm using 320 RPMs. And those seem to be working very well. Just like that, 4 more brackets. That was less than half an hour of drilling to do all those holes. For the longest time I didn't have a drill press. I was just using a handheld drill, the little cordless DeWalt thing. And really, it works. But as soon as I got this, I kind of wondered why I hadn't gotten a drill press sooner, because it just makes drilling so easy. Like, drilling with this is effortless. And also, this drill press has no problem drilling up to, like, I did a 28mm hole with it. The handheld drill, anything beyond 10 kind of becomes a little bit sketchy, but this is fine. So, I certainly would never work without a drill press again. A real drill press, of course. Like, I'm sure I would speak differently if I was trying to just use a small one like that. A little drill press like that is probably okay, but this one, it has a tendency to stall whenever you push on it, and the bit always wandered, so I never really bothered using it because it was kind of a little bit weak for drilling steel. Small wood holes, it's fine, but steel, forget it. This cultivator worked great, did exactly what I needed. Once I plow up the rest of this and I want to cultivate it again, I'm going to put 4 shanks on there. But for cultivating the sod, 3 was quite plenty. But it's all cultivated now. It took me maybe 2 or 3 hours to do so. And now it's ready for plowing. So my cultivator has now become a potato ridger as well. So I'm currently busy planting my potatoes. This is a little potato ridger that's made for a 2-wheel tractor. And you can adjust how far you want it to dig by moving this, and it moves these in and out. I have it to the max. So I just whipped up this little adapter, and this works great. And I still have the 2 shanks, so there's 60 in between them all. So this shank digs a furrow that I then put the front tire in, and this follows right where I need it, so that all the rows are parallel. And then this one it's just there to work the soil up a little bit. And then later on in the summer, that way I can come back with my cultivator with all 3 shanks on, and I can cultivate in between the rows. And then I also have a big potato ridger to put on one of these shanks that I'll put on the middle and just have the 1 shank, I think, and that's how I'll hill my potatoes. But we'll see, I'm not sure yet. But at least this way I can go through and I'll have 2 rows of potatoes underneath the tractor, and the wheels will exactly be on either side of those 2 rows. The only thing that is a little bit annoying is that, as you can see, it got a little bent or twisted. So I think I may have to replace this piece of C-channel for a tube. And certainly if I had bought this new rather than just using something I had, I definitely would have bought a tube, like a big square or rectangular tube with a thick wall, rather than using this C-channel. But the C-channel's fine as long as you have a two-row cultivator, so that you will have a bar on the outside going to the back, because that way it won't twist. But because it's just the one, there's really nothing here stopping it from twisting. But it still does its job perfectly, so for now we're just going to leave it. They're a little bit crooked, but at least they're all parallel. That little potato ridger does a marvelous job making trenches for planting potatoes.